Hi everybody, well welcome to video 2 or part 2 of this video where I'm going through the autographs that were found in the autograph book that I purchased for 10 paltry British pounds recently, going through the autographs that I found in there. I finished off the last video with Sally Smith, so if you haven't watched the last video, do first of all to see all the autographs that I've received to this point, but here we go, we'll move on and see what else we got. He says. There we go. Okay, so the next autograph in the collection is another cutout piece from a theatre programme. This is Michael Malnick. Not a huge amount out there about Michael, a bit like Sally Smith previously. He's an actor, mostly theatre, but he's done some TV and film work, things like Man in the Iron Mask. His autographs here from this cutout piece on the left-hand side. The image on the right is just for showing who the actor is. The autograph is not mine. It's just one of the only images I could find of him online. He did sadly die in 2014, so no longer with us. But a new actor for the collection. Not somebody that was in anything I particularly collect, but always happy to add new autographs to the collection. Next up, a really random one here. This is Bill Clifton. It's on a tiny round cutout piece. You can see it, or oval, I guess, cutout piece. You can see it here, not in the best condition. I looked him up online. This is the only Bill Clifton I could find, and the autograph does match with a very small number of ones that I could find online. He is apparently an American bluegrass musician. So there we go, who knew? Certainly not something I collect necessarily, but cool to have it in there in the autograph book that I bought. Next up, somebody people probably do recognise, particularly in the UK. This is actor Robert Powell, probably best known for the film Jesus of Nazareth. That's him there in the image you can see. But he was in The Detectives with Jasper Carrott, really funny series if you've not seen it, Asylum, and loads of other things. This is obviously ripped out a page from a theatre flyer or programme, and it says, "To the Baron and Baroness, best wishes, Robert Powell." I'm assuming the Baroness is Diana, the lady who owned this autograph book that went and did the collecting, but I don't know what the connotation of Baron and Baroness is here, but signed by Robert Powell. I do have Robert in the collection already from a TTM that I sent, but happy to always add him again. Next up, somebody who has some more connection to my autograph collecting, I guess, and this is Dina Sheridan. That's her on the right-hand side. Sadly, it's got that brown tape mark on it, but you know, whatever. It was just included as part of the collection. She's an English actress. Career spanned over 7 decades. A little fun factoid for you: she was one of the first actresses to appear on TV in 1936. So there we go. Who knew? For me, she's probably best added to my collection as she was the Time Lady Chancellor Flavia in the Doctor Who serial The Five Doctors, which is really cool. So yeah, I'm pleased about that. She's been in loads of films: Blackout, Where No Vultures Fly, Genevieve. She did pass away sadly in 2012, but a brand new addition to my Doctor Who collection, which is awesome. Next up is Terry Scott. I've got Terry in my autograph collection loads anyway. This is just a piece cut out from a book, I think. He's probably best known for Terry and June. He was in 7 Carry On films, which is where my collecting comes in here. Big fan of the Carry On films. He was in the original film Carry On Sergeant, and then was in 7 films. His last one was Carry On Matron in 1972. He did the voice of Penfold in Super Ted as well. Loads of other stuff, but he did pass away in 1994. But I am always happy to add another Carry On actor to the collection. Always happy to do that. Next up, this one I'm not 100% sure of. This says "Love to Diana" from Alan White, and it's drawn on a car and says "Brum Brum" on the side. I've no idea what that means. The only Alan White that I can find that's got any kind of TV or film connection is the person you can see here, who is Alan White, the drummer with Yes, the band Yes. But I'm really unsure of this. I've not found a huge amount of examples to match the autograph to, and this one doesn't. The ones I have found, it's not identical. It's not far off, but it's not identical. So I've still not been able to exactly identify this person, but as far as I can tell, this is the only person it could be. So anybody out there who's a kind of music fan or might know about autographs, please feel free to give me some alternatives as to who this might be. Okay, next up is Gerald Flood. This one for me is really cool. This is a Doctor Who linked autograph. So Gerald's been in loads of stuff, stage and screen. He was in Steptoe and Son, The Champions, lots of other stuff. But for me, the link here is Doctor Who. He was the voice of Chameleon in Doctor Who, probably one of the least favourite companions through the Doctor Who series. He was in 2 serials, The King's Demons and Planet of Fire, but then they dropped Chameleon basically because he was too hard to control. The robot was too hard to control, so they gave up in the end. Gerald sadly died in 1989, so not a huge amount of autographs out there from Gerald. So really pleased to have this in the collection. It's a lovely big autograph. Really pleased to have this in the collection, and particularly to add it to my Doctor Who collection. Next up is Roy Castle. I have had so many Roy Castles in my collection in the last year. It's ridiculous. I've gone from none to this might be my 5th or 6th, I think, in the last year. Roy is best known probably for Record Breakers in the UK, but also he was Ian in the film Doctor Who and the Daleks. You can see the images there where Peter Cushing played the Doctor. The non-canon films, Doctor Who films. He was also in Carry On Up the Khyber as well, loads and loads of other stuff. Sadly passed away in 1994, but I am always happy to add another Roy Castle to the collection, so that was really cool. Next up here is Sam Kidd. I didn't know much about him, although I do recognise the face. He's a British actor, appeared in more than 290 films. The 39 Steps, so the Hitchcock film 39 Steps, Hound of the Baskervilles. He was in Steptoe and Son Ride Again. Basically, he was in 1,000 TV plays and TV shows and 290 films. This guy was a serious actor in loads and loads of stuff. Lovely big autograph there. So very, very pleased to add this to the collection. Now we're coming to the really good stuff now. I mean, the last couple, Roy Castle, Gerald Flood, Sam Kidd are awesome, but these are my 2 personal favourites within here, and I cannot believe that I've got them in the collection. Next up is, as far as I can tell, jazz musician Miles Davis, so American jazz trumpeter and composer, probably one of the most acclaimed and influential figures in the history of jazz and 20th century music. Played from around 1949 to 1991. I've had it confirmed he visited the UK lots of times. This is, as far as I can tell, an autograph from jazz legend Miles Davis. The Miles is identical. The Davis looks a bit different because it kind of tails off towards the end, but it looks like it was a rushed signature, so the pen might have slipped slightly, I'm not sure. But the Miles is identical to Miles Davis's that I can find online. Somebody I never ever expected to have in the collection. He is I know nothing about jazz, but even I know a couple of key jazz names, and Miles is in there. So really, really pleased. I might send this one for authentication to get it confirmed. This is who I think it is, but I'm almost 100% certain this is the absolute jazz legend Miles Davis. And for me, this next one coming up now is the jewel in the crown of this autograph book. Having found lots of people that are kind of like I've not really heard of, and people I'm probably not interested in, to then go to some really interesting people like Gerald Flood and Roy Castle and Arthur English and those sorts of people, to then get Miles Davis and the next person, Harry H. Corbett. I mean, I could not believe that I have got a Harry H. Corbett in my collection. For those who don't know who Harry H. Corbett is, he's best known for the series Steptoe and Son. He plays the son in Steptoe and Son. He is a absolute legend in the UK film and TV industry. He was in my personal favourite Carry On film, Carry On Screaming. It's the only Carry On film he did, but it's one of my absolute favourites. He was in Jabberwocky, loads and loads of stuff. Sadly, he died very, very, quite young. He died in 1982. So obviously, again, a very rare, very scarce autograph. So to have a Harry H. Corbett in the collection, this is the jewel in the crown. So to pay £10 for a book where I found a Harry H. Corbett, a Miles Davis, and then people like Gerald Flood, Sam Kidd, and all the others is incredible. And I was absolutely over the moon when I found this one in there. It's a beautiful, large signature, really clear. It's clear who it is. It matches 100% to every other autograph that I found online. So an amazing find for the collection. I'm going to finish off here with 2 I haven't been able to identify yet. Ridiculously, I have not been able to identify this. It clearly says like Michael Breton, but I have searched Michael Breton up and down the length and breadth of Google, and I cannot find who this is. I have no idea who this person is. Michael Breton's come up, and they're like just random people online, but nobody famous that I can find. So if anybody can help me out with these, if you know who Michael Breton is, and you can point me to a link, please do so, because I cannot identify this one, even though it clearly says who the person is. And then finally, this one, I have no idea who it is at all. The closest I've come is somebody said it might have been an actor from On the Buses, but Bob, I can't remember his surname's terrible, Bob somebody. It looks a little bit similar, but not enough for me to think that it is a rushed version of his autograph. So I'm really struggling with this one. If anybody can help me out, please do. But that's it. Those are the autographs. I'm going to go back to my few favourites here: Gerald Flood, Roy Castle, Sam Kidd, this amazing Miles Davis, and to finish off, this superb Harry H. Corbett. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please do like, subscribe, and leave any comments of anything you found interesting here. I love to read them. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Please do continue to follow me to watch the videos. It really makes it worthwhile. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll be back with the regular ones very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.